next thing you know, Vlade, God damn it.
Yeah, that's a such a cool kind of
Those are special times.
yeah,
man.
like those are the things that you leave. You remember. I mean, from my career, I remember the locker room and the game and this time that you spend more than you remember the practices and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, probably one of the worst coaches I ever worked with was Dick Mata.
Dick Mata?
Oh, yeah. I won a championship in Washington, and we'd supposed to have 2-hour practice. We'd be there about a half hour listening to his yakky and shooting over a chair and then leave. We stunk up the place.
Yeah. That's so great question. So who out of all those coaches, like what is your perspective on the various coaches that came through? Because there was a lot you mentioned, and anybody obviously Rick Edelman had a great run.
Rick's a good coach. I mean, he's a great coach. I got the privilege of meeting and becoming very close friends with Byron Scott. Booty and I used to play golf all the time.
Yep.
Eddie Jordan.
Yeah,
really good coach. Really good coach. Byron, very good coach. And we had some Lollapaloozers too.
Yeah, there was some ins
Rex
and outs.
Hughes couldn't keep his temper.
Has all sorts all over the place. So what do you think is the key to success for an NBA coach, managing the personalities, frankly, the money, the egos, the whole nine, and to get the best?
The coach doesn't handle the money. The general manager does.
Absolutely.
The key, in my mind, the key to the success of the whole thing is the general manager, the owner, the general manager. They do the financials and stuff, and the coach. But they got to let the coach do his thing. Like my last few years in Malouse, I think they were financially had some issues. And if you noticed, and then they get into telling Petrie, you need to draft this guy, that guy, or you can't. Well, Jeff took the fall for those guys. That guy is a great general manager.
He built a phenomenal team.
Yeah, brilliant man.
Yep. So speaking of GM, so now you retired from the NBA, you went over to China, you did your time there, and now
That's another story.
So let's talk a little about your time. What was the catalyst to retiring from the NBA with the Kings and then going over to China, and what was that experience like?
Well, so they traded Doug. So we come back from Toronto, and Jackie says, "Oh, we just signed a contract to do Basketball Housewives." Well, Adelman's about from me to that light behind us. Doug was gone in 2 weeks because that meant TVs and all that stuff. Okay. And then we're in Dallas, and Matt Barnes is running down the hall about 2 a.m. Webb, you got traded. I'm going, what? So I'm going, So I go in, I retire. And then at the same time, I was working with the Monarchs, and we won the championship that year. If we'd have won a championship, I think I'd have been the only guy that would have a championship in men and women. Now I'm only a one ringer, not a 2 ringer. So they had brought some Chinese girls over to play on the Monarchs. They were really good players, but they weren't good enough to be on the 12-man roster. But their agent would come in and watch me, and John Whistman. We had a rule is if you didn't play 12 minutes, and we did that with the Kings, they didn't play 12 minutes, they had to train with me. I guess so I get this email from, her name is Sharon Quinn. Would you like to apply for the strength coach for the Chinese women's national basketball team? I leave it on my computer for 2 weeks, and I'm deleting emails. I get my finger on the delete, and it says, let me try this. So anyway, I respond. Long story short, I get the job, and I go to China. Well, now you talk about injuries. You talk about old school. I mean, dude, they're training like the 1960 Russians.
Wow.
Over there. Injuries here, injuries there. they have an Australian coach, a guy named Tom Hart, probably one of the best basketball coaches I ever worked with.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, man. He was something else. He was really good. And I got to do my thing. So the year before I got there, they got 12th in the world. So I got to do my thing, set up programs, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Long story short, we have right before the Olympics, Beijing Olympics, we have a test event. And they bring in 8 teams, 10 teams, and they do a tournament because they want to see how the facilities and da-da-da-da-da. Well, long story short, we beat America for the first time in China's history. I'm the only change. Everything's the same. Ooh.
There's some bragging rights right there.
So Carol Lawson, who's the Duke coach, women's coach, and her ex-husband's that disc jockey, won't speak to me. Hey, because I'd train her with the Monarchs. And her and I used to train a lot. She would not even speak to me.
Livid.
Long story short, we come back for the Olympics, and they beat us, And then, but we get 4th in the Olympics. There's a lady named Kathy Hammond. She got a Russian citizenship just to play for Russia. And she hit the shot that beat us for our bronze medal. So Russia gets bronze, and we get 4th. So needless to say, I wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, I spent 10 years there, and I loved it. I really did. Before I got there, they didn't have a junior national team. I said, man, you got these. Because what over there is when you're young, they'll take you away from your family, and you either go to a club or school. Well, you're going to train twice a day, 3 hours per session, so that's 6 hours a day. You got to go your lunch, you go eat lunch, and then you got a mandatory hour sleep. So by the time you're done at night, you go back and practice 3 to 6, you eat. So where's your education? Education stops.